on, George Mason University. Welcome back inside the Pressbox. Got the new setup right here in Hanover. I'm David Verburg.
I'm Perry Buckley.
DeMonte Shaw.
And I'm Matt Newman.
And today we got a special guest with us, gracing us with his presence on the program, the man himself, David Verburg.
Yeah!
How's it going, man?
Not too bad. It's an honor to be on the show.
Thank you.
I've for a while, so finally fast enough to get invited.
Thank you for joining us here today. So I guess let's just start off with what you've been up to. I mean, we know you had a big summer. We'll let you talk about that, but
Yeah. Well, since I've been back, I just take my rest time right now. Take a month off running, jumping, nothing. I crawl up my stairs now. Do my internship here at the Field Mason to finish up my degree.
Okay.
And other than that, just enjoying being back. It was a long, stressful summer. So getting back, hanging out with my friends and stuff like that. So nothing too crazy.
Yeah, I feel you. So you got a new piece of accessory to add to your wardrobe. You gonna tell us a little bit about that?
Well, they talk about
The gold medal.
No big deal.
No biggie.
Yeah, I was blessed to run on the USA 4x4 team this summer. I ran in prelims, and then I was surprised to pick the finals. I wasn't supposed to run finals, but I've been practicing well. I've been running well, so they picked me to run. I got the call actually an hour before we were supposed to head to the track. Because everyone heads to the track to warm up with me. And so I was sitting in my bed dang, I'm not about to run. I guess I should have won. I was trying to convince myself that I'm okay with it. And so I got the call from the coach. He was like, David, he's like, what are you doing? I'm nothing, watching cartoons in German. And he was like, well, you're leading off the 4x4. And I tried to keep it cause I was like, oh, really? Yeah, that's fine. Hung up the phone and started jumping in my bed. Jumping from my bed to a roommate's bed. And I tried to, my phone had broke. So I tried to figure out how to contact my dad and my coach, but I couldn't. So I was like, I gotta tell somebody. But yeah, I was really excited.
That's what's up. So how's that experience overall, just being able to run for the USA?
I mean, anytime you have USA on your chest, it's a big a lot of pressure. First of all, it's a big responsibility. But it was definitely one of the highlights of my track career and my young career I had. But it was definitely something I'll remember for forever. Stepping out on the track, when you have 80,000 fans, you get people screaming your name in the back, there's a camera right here next to your face, you're trying to focus and there's a camera. There's a big screen, I'm trying not to look at myself.
I saw you clown a little bit on those videos. You're clowning.
I have to peek up a little bit. I was clowning to just keep myself from being nervous.
Yeah.
Beforehand I was shaky. So I was clowning, just kind of lessen my stress. But it was definitely a learning experience going from collegiate races to an international level with some of the best runners in the world, and having to, step up to the plate or else. But there's a lot to handle. There's a lot to handle, that's for sure.
That's awesome. Well, you talked about some of those, being able to meet some of those runners. We know you've been meeting some pretty top-of-the-notch athletes out there.
Yeah. I met the whole USA team. So I was chilling with Justin Gatlin, Natasha Hasty, all the great sprinters and runners from the U.S. And then I met Usain Bolt. We actually had the same training camp because I'm based in London. Throughout the summer, so I fly back and forth from the States. So I actually met Usain Bolt during practice one day. He came out at the same time, so took a picture with him. Said hello. We dropped our homes together, and just ended up chatting. So to be able to come from Mason to now warming up with the fastest man alive ever. You want to be like, oh my gosh. Yeah, cool about it. So, hey, how you doing?
What's up, you say?
Have you challenged them to a race yet at all?
I have not. Because what pride I have, I didn't want to.
True. So I guess let's take us back to your time here at Mason. I guess what's your biggest moment or achievement, accomplishment that stood out to you the most while here at Mason?
Honestly, the one that sticks out the most that I'm pretty sure I always remember is freshman year coming in. I won conference, and it doesn't seem like a big deal because it's just conference, but I was a freshman. There were people on the team that were faster than me, people in the conference that were faster than me, and I wasn't supposed to win. I was supposed to get second or third or something like that. So I came back from being 25 meters down to winning by like maybe a tenth of a second.
Ooh.
Yeah, it was a leading to the line. So I think that sticks out the most because that was like the start of my individual career. Because I've been on a relay like that, the annual season, you get all in a relay, but that was my first like big title as an individual.
And that was in outdoors?
That was outdoor, yeah. That was the first title as an individual, which was like the kickoff of my solo career, basically. Yeah.
What did you end up running in that race?
I went
Remember?
46:27.
That's a
That was a big one because my PR before that was 47:1. So my goal for the whole college career was to go 46 something. I didn't care what it was. It was 46.99. I would been happy. So I went out there and went 46.2, and I was like, well, I'm satisfied. Like I did what I was supposed to do. So at the time, I had reached my college peak. I was like, well, I'm good. I had a good career.
Whoa. You've come a long way since then, too.
I'm 76 now.
So what is your mindset going into races? I know a lot of people, there's a lot of strategy to track, which a lot of people don't realize.
Yeah.
Everyone, especially with the 400 and the shorter distance, everyone's just like, oh yeah, you just sprint the whole time.
I wish.
What is your mindset going into a 400? I guess you could look at it at the collegiate level and then again, professional.
I don't think my mindset changed it changed a little bit between like collegiate and professional. But before each race, my goal was to just get out hard and win. If you doubt yourself, before you can get in the blocks, you're gonna lose because it's so mental. People don't understand the track. Yeah, it's physical, but if you don't believe in yourself or you feel you can't do it, like it's so mental at the same time. So I always come out before go through the race in my head over and over and over. Like, okay, I want to get out this fast. I want to try to kick here. I want to be, at this time, like at this place in the track. You practice at certain times, so I know how I'm feeling, whether it's gonna be a good race or not. Like once I'm on the back stretch, once I'm on the home stretch. So the whole mindset is, I want to be first. I don't care who it is. I don't care who's on the track. I don't care what I'm doing. My goal is to be first. So going in, my mentality is nobody's faster than me today. Of course, it doesn't always work out that way. Obviously, I lose. It happens. But my goal.
You lose? Nah.
I do. Unfortunately, yeah. But my goal, my mentality going in is nobody can beat me today. So if I believe in myself, then it's on me if something happens.
Mm-hmm.
And then there's also strategy. Because if I go out too fast in the 400, say I go out too fast the first 50 meters, that's 350 meters I'm gonna be paying for it. So that's something I had to learn too. I would just get out, I'll just ball out, sprinting and then tie up, be fighting, like my head would be back, arms rolling, So that's just something I had to teach myself was, just race management and then mentally prepare. Because mentally, you step on the track. For example, last year's Olympic trials was my first big, you would say race basically. I was racing against Sean Merritt, Jeremy Warner, some of the biggest names. I grew up watching. I had posters of these guys on the wall. Watching YouTube videos late at night, and now I have to step on the track and race them. I can no longer be the fan. I have to be that's the competition. So the biggest thing for me was getting over that barrier. I belong. Telling myself that I belong to be with them. And I got here for a reason. So the biggest thing was, telling myself that they're just normal people like you. Like you're here, they're here. So clearly I belong with you. But that was a big thing to get over because I'm sitting here. I wanted to do sound like fight. I got trying to race it.
So you talked about going out hard and trying to pace yourself a little bit, but would you wear a watch when you raced? And would you ever?
I would not,
No.
because everything happened so fast that by the time I remember to look at my watch and check it and try to read, what it says as I'm sprinting, I lost seconds or something like that in that race. So we practice. I hit certain times of practice, so my body gets used to it. So say for a 300, I come through a 32-minute of practice. So when I come through the race, I know what it feels like. I know if I'm off pace or on.
Yeah.
More or less. But I mean, it's not science down to milliseconds or I just go out there and run. But my body's so used to it because of the way I practice that I'll be off a couple of tenths here and there, a couple hundreds here and there, depending on the weather, depending on the day. So I stay pretty consistent most of the time I race. So
any quirky pre-race rituals you got? Any superstitious
Why
practices?
don't you just take us through the night before and then meet day?
All right. Well, night before, I try to I try not to even think about the race because I won't sleep. You know, because I'll be nervous, I'll be excited, I'll be thinking what I got to do. I used to always eat a pack of sour gummy worms before I ran. Yeah, before every race, I used to eat a pack of sour gummy worms, and then one day I got sick. So I stopped doing that. But I'll end up watching, like, I'll wake up next morning, eat my breakfast, do my little shakeout in the morning, the next day, and then I'll go, like, walk around, try to do something, try to keep my mind off of the race with me. Because if I think about it all day, I will stress myself out. I'll just freak myself out. So, like, for USA's past little bit and the World's, I would get out and do something, watch some cartoons, talk to people, just like try to relax, try to keep myself off of the task at hand basically. And then like an hour before, I put headphones in, I put music in, I just want to talk to you, I'm not mad.
Those guys.
Yeah, I just want to talk to you, but I'll be sitting there chilling, you know, just in my own zone, just thinking about what I have to do. And then warming up is the worst actually, because you know in an hour I am about to hurt. And you know like in an hour I have to go from 0 to 100 and it has to be perfect. So warming up is the worst. You're warming up like, man, I got to go 400. And it's like, man, it has to be perfect today because it's Worlds and, you know, USA Nintendo League. So my thing was, I would always tell myself that it's just a race. Then again, it's not at the same time because I have the USA baton in my hand. So like, it's just a race. You know, I could just be hated by the country. So
Or loved by the country.
yeah, well, look, you go either way. You go either way. But one thing I like before like pre-race rituals, like is to say I never wear socks when I run in my spikes. I don't know why. I did it one day in my PR, so I was like, well, I don't need socks. And then I always wanted the sleeve on. I couldn't in the relay because everyone has to match.
Yeah.
But like if you look at my old Vincent pictures or like my professional races in the summer, I always had like the yellow or green sleeve on when I ran. Does it help? I don't know. I feel like it helps me just because it makes me remember like reminds me of my arm. I did it sophomore year for the first time, and I PR'd on the race. It was, I think, right conferences. So after I did that, I was like, well, I guess it works for me, so that's what I do. And then I say my little prayer, whatever, after getting the blocks, and I just tell myself, get out, get out, get out, get out. And then, depending on the race, like in Worlds, like, I don't remember half the race. Honestly, I remember the gun going off, and then all in the home stretch, like, wow, I'm actually winning right now. So, yeah, depending on the hype of the race, like I don't like it just be a blur. I'm autopilot just running. So wish I could remember that period.
Moving so fast, just a blur.
I wish.
Yeah, so moving forward, like, what are your future plans? What are you preparing for? You know?
Well, right now, since it's off season, so I'm not gonna race again until January, February, sometime in there. So now I'm just doing, some community service work. I'm doing, some like little camps with kids, stuff like that. I've been blessed, so I'm just giving back right now. Doing as much, like getting out there as much as possible. Just taking care of like the business side of the track. Because the track, it's not like football, or basketball, or baseball, where it's really big in the U.S. Overseas is huge. Overseas is go soccer and track and field. But here in the U.S., you gotta market yourself a lot more. So now I'm just working on like, my T-shirt's gonna come out. The website's coming out, stuff like that. Just marketing myself in the off season, so people know who I am going into next season, and then building stuff after that. I'm working on starting a nonprofit organization back in my hometown in Lynchburg. It's an idea that's kind of going on right now for a lot of unprivileged youth that want to get into sports, but they don't have the time, like the parents don't have the time to take it, they don't have the money, or something like that. So I'm trying to start a nonprofit organization down there. It's gonna have shoes for kids that really can't, because running shoes are expensive.
Yes.
I'm sponsored by Adidas now, so I'm trying to figure something out where, even my old running shoes or like old running shoes from a community that, because I go through, I get sent boxes of shoes, so
Yep.
I don't need all of them, what I'm saying?
If you're running at a high level, you're going through shoes.
Exactly, going through shoes, but so I'm trying to give the kids, a pair of trainers or some gear or something like that, and I'm trying to get that started. Here within the next couple of months, the ideas are drawing up, the plans are drawing up. Now it's just a matter of getting everything working, because I was blessed in the situation, like the family situation I was, so I didn't have to struggle at all. So I could do this what I wanted to at any time. But the kids, there's plenty of talented kids out there that don't have the resources, so I want to give them a chance too. So that's in the working right now. So,
Yeah, that's awesome.
It's a shame.
Good for you.
Definitely.
Well, I have a if someone's like you're talking about working with the children, like what would you say to like a child, like if they want to get track and field, like what advice would you have for them?
I mean, honestly, if I can do it, anybody can do it. Because honestly, I was barely recruited coming out of high school. I wasn't all that spectacular in high school. I was good, but I wasn't anything, to write home about. And in middle school, I played soccer and football. So just, believe in yourself. And if you want it, you got to work at it. I didn't just wake up and, win world championships, get all American. I had to work at it. So if you want it, you got to work at it. Especially because, I'm not going to lie, I know it looks like it, but I'm kind of short. I'll admit it. And my whole career, I was told that I was too short to run the 400. So I did the 1 and 2, and then I started running the 4, and I'm beating guys on 6'2", 6'3", but I was supposed to be. So I'll tell you, what I tell kids is believe in yourself, believe in your coaching, and it can happen if you want it bad enough. Of course, I'm not gonna say you're about to be LeBron, I'm not gonna say you're about to be Usain Bolt, but if you try enough, you can get to a place where you can potentially be happy with what you're doing.
I feel inspired.
You about to go out for the track team?
About to make the NBA. Watch.
But so I guess we asked earlier about what your what the highlight was of your career. I guess what was the most disappointing portion or most difficult thing?
Or the biggest obstacle you had to overcome?
Biggest obstacle. The most disappointing. My junior year, I had a great season. I won conference ICs. I was ranked #1 in the country for a while. As far as the collegiates, I won regionals. So I was, people write, I had papers back home writing about, will they win national championship? I had people saying, you could win this. Coaches saying you could win this. And, I was like, I could do this. I feel like I could win a national championship. And I went out there and I got 4th, which is the highest I've ever placed at an NCAA event in an individual. So I got 4th, and any other year or any other time, I would have been ecstatic just to make the final. But there had been so much hype, I guess, going into it that it really hurt. I cried after the race. I went to the car, put my sunglasses, and I cried because I felt like I had let everyone down. I felt like I had let my family down, my friends down, my teammates, everyone that had been rooting, writing, and cheering for me. I felt like I hadn't fulfilled everything that they expected me to do. Everyone was still proud, everyone was still excited. Nobody said oh, you didn't do it. They were just excited to get forward. But me personally, I think I put more pressure on myself than anybody else possibly could. So that really hurt. That really hurt going into Olympic trials, and then also Olympic trials. It was just a rough end of the year, I guess, because I expected so much. My goal at the beginning of the season was to just make it to Olympic trials, and I made it. So I was like, okay, cool. Now the goal was just if I get through the first round, I'll be happy. I got through the first round. I was like, okay, well, I can actually do this. Got through the second round, made it to the final, and it takes 6. It takes 6 Olympics. So I was like, I'm 2 spots away from being making the Olympic team. And then I went out there and I got 7th by a 10th or something like that. And it was just because I ran a bad semi, so I got lane 1, and I ran one of the fastest times at that track in lane 1, but I broke down afterwards. I went down. I was just so hurt because to be so close to something all this was not even possible. It just a dream, and for it to be literally that far away from happening, it just really hurt. That was really disappointing. That hit me all summer. All summer that stuck with me, and I feel like that really changed my training coming into my senior years. I never want to have that from the beginning. So it really changed the way I trained, ate, slept. I didn't go out as much. Changed my diet. So it hurt at the time, but I guess saying everything happens for a reason.
Yep.
I still don't agree with that completely, but it works in that sense. So.
Well, to be honest with you, I really don't have that much knowledge of track and field. How do you y'all practice to keep getting yourself faster and faster and faster?
Just preseason. The season's broken down into probably 4 sections: preseason, indoor, outdoor, and then postseason. Postseason's anything that would be after NCAA finals. But you change your mileage. We run every day, and we lift heavy early in the season. So we'll lift heavy and we'll run more miles or meters early in the season. So as you're getting faster, your workouts get faster. You do less. I'll do stuff like one and done. So I'll do like 300, 30 seconds rest, 100, and that'll be it for that day. But it's like right now, like during preseason, I'll do like 4 800s or like 2 mile runs and stuff like that to build your base level. So once you're trying to get faster, you just cut down the lifting, you cut down the meters, and your body will, your body's like done in practice, so you slowly get faster and faster. But other than that, I mean, running. I know that's what kind of not my most favorite part about track and field is that I go to practice every day knowing that I'm about to run. When I played soccer, we have like corner kick today, and scrimmage, or we have like penalty shootouts, or we got like trying to bend the ball, something like that. It's gonna be something fun. I'm not saying track for fun, but every day I know I'm gonna go out here and I'm gonna run something. Whether it's hard or easy, either day I'm still running. So you have to. It's a love-hate relationship with track and field, honestly. You love it some days, you hate it. 60 hours a week when you practice.
So in your eyes, what's the hardest sport to do? Because I know track is very, very physically demanding.
The hardest sport to do? I'm honestly, I don't know, because I haven't played every sport. So I'm not sure what the hardest sport is. I'm not gonna lie, track is hard. I play football, so football is equally hard. It just depends. It's different. It's different demands on your body. So in football, you get hit. You get hit in practice, you get hit during games. Like you wake up and you get hit by a truck the next day. At practice, I'm gonna have sore hamstring the next day. I'm gonna have feel like I gotta run over. Each sport has different demands. Of course, that athlete's gonna feel like my sport's hard. My sport's your sport. But at the end of the day, sports is hard in general. I don't care if you're in gymnastics. I've seen cheerleaders do workouts that would make me cry because I just couldn't do all that. They look really tough. So, it just depends on your sport. Every sport, takes different demands from your body. And so, sports are hard in general. So.
Well, you talk about playing different sports. How do the teammate dynamics change between football and soccer and then a track? How does that all work out?
I treat it the same. At the end of the day, because track. I know it's not technically a team sport, but we were always going for a team title or a 4x4 relay, or we're practicing the team, so we're always as teams are always pushing each other. That's probably the biggest difference between professional and in college as well. Because in college, I had a team around with me. It's still a team sport at the end of the day. We're still trying to get as many people to national. We're still trying to get a team title at conference, a team title at IC4As. So I just kept the same team mentality that I had, from soccer and from football, and just carried it over the track. And so it also helps you, helps you interact with your teammates better. Nobody wants to be that one, have that teammate that thinks it's just about them and doesn't do anything. Because then, who wants to talk to that person? I wouldn't want to talk to them. I wouldn't. Yeah, exactly. So nobody wants to be, nobody wants to have that on the team. But now I'll be training by myself, so I'm not gonna. It's gonna be kind of lonely. As long as you keep the same team dynamic, I just kept the same mindset that I had throughout football and track, or football and soccer, and brought it in the track. And it made fun. The team was basically my family. Of course, some of us hated each other sometimes, some of us wanted to fight. But end of the day, you spend every day, multiple hours a day, all you with somebody. It's gonna be problems here and there. But at the end of the day, the team's a big family. So.
All right, you wanna stick around, talk pro sports with us in a little bit?
Yeah, I can talk to the pro sports. I'm not knowledgeable on you. We can talk to the
Cool. All right, we'll be right back. George Mason University. Don't go anywhere. Keep it locked right inside the press box. What's up, George Mason University? Welcome back inside the press box. Of course, we got special guest David Verburg, and we'll talk about that special little accessory earlier on. Little gold medal, no biggie,
Oh man,
look at that. Blinded. Woo! Okay. You keep it locked away in safe places?
Actually, honestly, it's been in my car. I took it to an event and I forgot I was in there. I remember somebody saying they wanted to see it here, so I was like, okay. Walked into my room to my shelf, and I was like, oh my gosh, I left it with one of the little kids because they were wearing it and running around. So I was like, some little kid has my medal right now. No, it was actually under my seat.
Okay.
But it'll be locked away now.
Okay. All right, so let's delve into some pro sports. So what are your favorite teams? Teams you be following around when the seasons come around?
Favorite football team is the Bengals. I used to live in
Okay.
Kentucky, so they were like right across the river. So
Okay.
I didn't like them when I was there, but I moved away and I was there. And the Redskins, just for the fact, I like RG3 as an athlete. I like RG3 as an athlete. I think he's a great player, great guy, and he's Team Adidas as well. So but RG3. So just I wouldn't say the Redskins. I'd say RG3. So if
Okay.
he does well, I'm happy. Other than that,
That's just
basketball. I'd have to say the Denver Nuggets. I don't know. You're shaking your head. Nah, the Denver Nuggets. I like LeBron James just because everyone hated him for so long for moving. I mean, he needed a career choice, so he moved. You can't hate the man for trying to better his career.
Yeah.
But so I
He
like
did,
LeBron.
yeah.
Not the Heat necessarily. I'm not jumping on the Heat bandwagon fan. So nah, but the Heat. And then I'm trying to think what other sports I watch. I watch soccer a lot. I
Okay.
used to watch soccer. I used to love DC United, especially back when they had Freddie and Adu. I used to stay watching DC United. I watched a lot of European soccer. Watched some tennis here and there, some golf. When Tiger Woods is doing well.
Yeah.
I think I'm him when I'm playing putt-putt golf.
I think
Every week.
I think everyone does.
I'll be out there, get my Tiger Woods on.
that's cool.
So who's your favorite soccer athlete? You're a Messi guy, Ronaldo. You got a favorite?
Probably throwback, Ronaldinho, back when he used to play for Brazil.
Good choice.
That
Okay.
guy has some crazy footwork.
Yeah.
Crazy footwork. And he can make things that happen that you wouldn't think were possible. Messi, because that man can just score goals.
Yeah.
He can make things score goals. But definitely a Ronaldinho fan.
Okay.
Yeah.
All right.
You mentioned LeBron. Is there somebody that you look up to, and RG3 as well? What's somebody you look up to in professional sports?
Someone I look up to. Honestly, I look up to RG3 just the way he carries himself. On and off the field. You don't hear him talking bad about other people or anything like that. He carries himself well outside of the football field. You see a lot of players, are just athletes. They aren't trying to do anything outside of their sport.
Right.
And so I feel like I kind of want to emulate that as far as my career goes as well. Trying to reach out to the community here and there, do events, do stuff like that. Be more than just the athlete in their sport. I'm trying to think who else. Honestly, and also in my sport, Karani James. He's the previous world champion, Olympic champ. He is probably one of the nicest athletes I've ever met. Top quality athlete. Almost never gets beaten the 400. And he's one of the nicest men you ever meet. He never talks bad about anybody. He's really gracious. I remember my first big major pro race was over in Paris Diamond League race. We raced him, and before the race, I was shaking, I was nervous. I was asking myself out loud, why am I doing this? And I remember before the race, he was like, be calm, it's fine. This is the first one's always the worst. And so to him, I was I'm like a nobody at the time. I'm a circuit, I was new on the circuit. So for him, who had Olympic medals, gold medals, world championships, to come over and talk to me when we could clearly tell I was in distress at the time. For him to come do that, really showed his character, really meant a lot.
That's awesome.
It's big time.
Was that probably one of your best experiences on the professional level?
It was.
Yeah.
It was one of the best experiences. For him to come do that, really it really calmed me down. It really meant these guys are just normal people, just because I watch them on TV, see them like that. They're still just normal people, and that point was my breaking point for the rest of my season. After that, races got easier because I raced the two top people in the world at that time. So after that, you really can't get any higher. So anything after that is just no race. So that really was the turning point, I guess you could say, in my professional career.
Okay. And then your Bengals doing pretty well so far too. I mean, you mentioned your Bengals.
They
They're
are.
doing
They
their
are
thing.
2-1. I believe.
2-1, yeah.
2-1.
Yeah.
They're gonna make it to the playoffs this year.
Okay.
Got
Got them winning the division.
They're gonna make the. I don't know if they're gonna win the division. I think they need Ocho Cinco back. My personal opinion.
Okay.
My personal opinion.
Give him
I
a
think
job.
he needs a job right now.
MTO.
He needs a job. I heard T.O. was playing in Canada and Europe or somewhere. I heard he played in Arena League for a little while.
Yeah, he did
Down
for a little
in-
bit.
He's some money. He's broke right now.
I mean, he was doing his little, reality TV show, and after that,
Yeah, still got that going on, too.
you didn't hear about that.
T.O.
But yeah, I mean, we could talk about the Redskins too. And RG3 and their great start this season.
Oh, here we go.
You know, why you gotta call me out like that?
I don't know. I just feel like I have to bring you
Calm
back
down.
down. You get all hyped up on RG3, you know.
Well, me and Dave over here, we think he's a respectable guy.
I think he's
RG3.
a respectable gentleman.
He's a
I
respectable
love
gentleman.
RG3. The team.
I feel like he came back too soon. Honestly, you know, you can see in his running style. You can see if you watch, like, they pulled up on ESPN a little while ago. Like, they had a split screen of like tapes of him running last year and tapes of him running this year. He's just not the same runner, so I feel like he's playing something which is also affecting, you know, his line, his receivers, everything else. So honestly, I just feel like he came back too soon. I know there's hype around it, so of course you want to start your season off like with your fans and your team, like believing behind your captain, your quarterback. But me personally, in my personal opinion, I'm not a coach, I'm not a trainer, but I feel like he came back too soon.
Yeah, I kind of agree with that. I think their play calling, you can see, has kind of changed. They're not running the read option as much, and being that he isn't running in the same form that he was last year, it changes their whole dynamic of their offense, and they're really kind of been out of sync the first 3 games.
Yeah, especially because teams know he's not running like that. So these teams scouting the game from the week, they know what to do, they know how to contain him. So before, you know, the man can throw, the man can run. But if you weaken one of those, that's advantage on the defense right there. They know what's up. They know how to stop them. So,
It takes a huge element out of their offense.
yeah, it really does. A huge element out of their offense because they were killing last year. But I hurt my feelings on something hurt. It did. Yeah. I mean, whenever I see somebody hurt their legs, like I was like, I start cringing.
Yeah.
It seems like everyone nowadays tearing their ACL, so it's every couple of weeks you got another professional athlete tearing, getting majorly hurt.
Yeah.
Yeah. So I mean, let's see. I guess you think that he should continue playing right now? I guess to kind of shake off the rust. Do you think?
Honestly,
take some more time off is better off.
I feel like at this point, this is just me, my personal opinion. David Verburg just saying that at this point he's already 3 games in. So to take him out now, I feel like would be, you know, that's showing that the team that they don't trust their starting quarterback. It'll bring him down because now he's like, well, dang, you know, they don't think I can cut it. You know, now they got to get used to, you know, playing with the quarterback. I feel like at this point you just got to stick it out, and hopefully they can make something happen with it. Hopefully he's gonna get healthier. But to take him out now, I don't know if it's gonna make that much of a difference.
More counterproductive than
anything else.
Yeah, I was surprised with like all the talk about putting Kirk Cousins in. I mean, you've already committed. You can't just pull him now. Now
if they were gonna do that, they should have started Cousins from the jump and then switched when he was ready. But you can't really go backwards like that.
Yeah.
I mean, you can look at how he came back, and then also Derrick Rose, his situation. What is your opinion on that? Because he was cleared by the trainers and the doctors to come back and play, but he decided mentally to sit out.
Yeah, we talked about that. We talked about that yesterday. Actually, I was surprised at dinner and that came up. We saw him for commercials. I don't know, because you had so many commercials about him hyping it up. You had like his team. I feel like his presence just being there in the playoffs. All you have to do is play 3 minutes just for team morale, just boost the team up. You know, show the fans, show the team that he's still there for them, and he didn't do it. I don't know if that. I feel like that was like a kind of a selfish move on his part, because of the doctor's not going to clear you before you're ready. The trainer's not going to clear you before you're ready, because if you get hurt worse, then you're out for them. That's money on the team. Like, so it's a business.
Yeah.
So they're not going to clear you before you're ready. So I feel like it was just selfish on his part. I know sports are really mental, but at the same time, knowing that it's mental, I feel like you need to show some type of support for your teammates, because at the end of the day, it's not just you, it's not Derrick Rose, it's the Bulls. So at the same time, you have to come out there, play 3 minutes, shoot a jumper, just get the crowd back into it, get your team back into it, show them that you trust them and they can trust you.
Especially being in Chicago, they're such a hard-nosed team, physical, play through injuries, and then Derrick Rose sitting out.
Derrick Rose saying that he's not mentally ready. You got people playing with pulled hamstrings, people just taping it up and going out there. But
had the flu that.
Exactly. People playing sick and whatnot, but you can't do it because you're not mentally prepared. If I was his teammate, I would feel some type of way. I'd be like, well, I'm out here, just took my cold medicine, rolled out of bed with the snuffles, but you can't do it because you're not mentally ready. If I was a team, like, you'd lose some of my respect, honestly, as another teammate because I'm out here giving my 110%, but you say you're not mentally ready to just come out there and just show support for your team.
Yeah.
Do you have? Sorry, go ahead.
Because we were talking about that, and I was saying, you know, he doesn't have that instinct like a Kobe. You know, Kobe's not taking any extra time. You know, more than he needs.
You know, day one when he's clear.
Yeah, I was just looking at like his mindset. I don't think he's in that like, you know, I gotta. I think because he's young and I don't know, maybe his background. Like right now, he's satisfied with, you know, I'm getting the money. You know, pretty successful. I was the league MVP. Like, and right now, that's enough for him. But maybe as he goes in his career, he'll get that instinct where he's like, you know, I really, really want a championship. Or like, I'm gonna do what I gotta do to get it. You know,
I mean,
right
that's the
now.
difference between like, you know, good players, decent players, and great players. You know, great players, you know, don't stop at anything. You know, always want it. You know, always are never satisfied. Can always do better or get better. And so to be, you know, one of the best, you have to have that mentality because you're never satisfied with what you're doing. So like I scored 30 points that game, like I'll score 35 next time. You can never be satisfied as an athlete in any sport you're doing. You know, you never be satisfied where you're at because then you'll get complacent and then you'll start going backwards eventually.
I think it also could have been the pressure that the city put on him as well. You mentioned that how you know you had a lot of pressure put on your shoulders, and for him to come back, I know his goal is obviously a championship. That's a lot of goals, you know, in everyone's goal in the NBA. But for him to come back and you know try to do something, maybe he thought it wasn't the year, maybe he thought it wasn't ready.
I mean, you got LeBron and the big three of Miami. That's probably pretty discouraging. Why waste my time, you know?
Yeah, that is true. That's very true.
Yeah. I mean, but what do you think when he does come back, if it is, let's say he does come back at the start of the season, what do you think that chemistry will be like for the rest of the team? Because you mentioned, you know, if you're his teammate, you might feel some sort of resentment towards him, but what do you think trying to build that chemistry up again?
Honestly, I feel like they're gonna get to that out their system during practice, behind the scenes. I don't think you're gonna see it during gameplay. Because that's stuff you're gonna take care of, like, you know, behind closed doors, preseason games, like workouts and stuff like that. That's stuff that the chemistry will come back then. So we won't see it. I mean, I'm sure it'll happen, but I don't think it's gonna be made public as far as like being able to tell like during regular season games.
I think it's just like it's like when you put like the two back to back. It's like RG3 and Derrick Rose. It's like they have to walk such a fine line between coming back too soon and coming back like too late. Like they're like one way, like they might keep like RG3 is probably like still at a higher risk of getting hurt, and probably is like you said not playing on this like top level game. But like whereas Derrick Rose is like being like kind of like shunned by a city because he chose not to come back, and it's just like where do you like draw like the line between coming back too soon, coming back too late? It's just like I couldn't do it.
I mean, as a professional athlete, you know, there's always going to be pressure. And there's always, I mean, people are always going to cheer you when you're doing well and boo you when you're not. I mean, that's just how the sport is, like any sport. So you just got to be able to be able to handle that pressure. Because of course it's great when you're winning, you know, you're doing well, everyone loves you. But there's going to be downtime. No athlete has ever had a career where they never lost, or they never got hurt, or they never like did something bad where people were looking down upon them, or people judged them for what they did. So you just got to be able to believe in yourself and be able to, you know, talk to your teammates, talk to your coaches, and not just almost block out what you're hearing and what you're reading. So
That bubble, you know.
yeah.
I feel we gotta throw this in here because everybody has some sort of opinion on this guy. But Tim Tebow.
No, don't get him started. Stay back.
What's your thought on him not having a job right now, being in the unemployment line right now?
I feel like it's wrong. I mean, the man won a Heisman for a reason. You know what I'm saying? Like whether he's a quarterback or not, I feel like you can use it. He's an athlete, so you can use this man somewhere. And I feel like people take his personal life and just shove it in his face too much, to where the point where they look past him as an athlete and go straight to like how he is off the field and stuff like that. But the man's an athlete. The man won a Heisman.
Yeah.
You don't win a Heisman and not be great at football. It just doesn't happen. So if you don't want him as a quarterback, use him as like a halfback, you know, block something. The man can be used somewhere.
Yeah, right.
And honestly, I don't think he should have left the Broncos. I thought he did very well out there. I don't know why he got cut. That's my personal opinion. But I thought he should have stayed out there. I thought he was doing very well out there. I thought they were winning well. He brought them back from a losing season to having a decent season. And at the end of the games, he was always making plays happen for his team. So it shows that he's a leader. It shows that he can make things happen. It shows he can make plays happen. He got felt you need a playmaker. So even if you don't start him, you still have him as that guy. You go, okay, put him in the game. He can do something.
All he does is win.
He refuses to play any other position though. Like you can lead the horse to water.
But I mean, think about it. Like you said, you win a Heisman, almost won a second one, 2 national championships as a quarterback. Why would you want to play anything else? Like you had so much success at that position. Like you know you can do it. I mean, all of Florida knows you can do it. I don't know what the rest of the country is doing.
So yeah, do you think Jacksonville should pick him up? His hometown of
You would think. I mean, he's going back to Florida. It should be good Florida fan base. They need somebody anyway. It's not like they're having it's not like they have to play. They should be the best team out there, right?
They're nowhere near that.
So if they need a new face, I mean, maybe a new face is what they need. So yeah, I feel like they don't lose anything by picking him up. You can only gain. If he doesn't work out, well then he's gonna get cut. But it's worth a shot. You never know.
Yeah.
If it doesn't work out, he'll just be like the other quarterbacks there right now.
Exactly.
I mean, I guess that is the one knock on him when he had the opportunity after Denver cut him and he had the chance. He had the choice between New York or Jaguars, and he chose New York for whatever reason.
I don't know why.
Worst career move ever. But I mean, so I guess you can't put that knock on him. Like he had the choice and he picked the spotlight. But I mean, now let's just hope that the declining ticket sales will motivate Jackson to pick him up, because no one's going to those games.
Not at all. But so let's talk about some Mason basketball real quick. You got any outlook on the season for us? How you think we're looking this year?
Honestly, it's a new conference. We got a lot of players returning. We got a lot of new guys that I've heard that are supposed to be pretty good. So it'll be interesting to see how they hold up against the A-10. Because I know the A-10 basketball wise is pretty strong. But as long as they play as a team and you start doing team play with, we should be fine. Coach Hewitt, he believes in his guys, and it's a good lineup. So I'm excited to come back and watch the Mason basketball games. Hopefully, it goes really well, especially with the new conference move. No more CAA, all by A-10 now. So I'm excited to see it, especially now because Mason's gonna be in the spotlight more, because A-10 gets more shine than CAA did. So hopefully they can step up to the change and make things happen on a national level. I would personally probably see that.
Yeah.
What about your outlook on the track season? So now that's more of your area of expertise.
The track team's going to do well. We have a couple key returners on the men's side. We have Adrian Vaughn, who's coming back as the top male sprinter. George Anthony, he's another male sprinter, will be back. Anthony Williams in the hurdles. Jimmy Telly in the jumps. There's still, I don't know the freshmen as well, but I know we recruited some top freshmen. So I know on the men's side, they should still hold it pretty well, especially in the A-10. On the sprint anyways, they should maybe not dominate as well as we have in the past in CAA, but they should still play very well. And the women, they brought back everyone, I believe, but Sierra McGee. So the women's side, they should sweep conference. They should do really well, and they should sing, I'm gonna say, like the 4x4 and at least 3 individuals in nationals next year in open events. That's my hope for them, and they can do it. I mean, they're a talented group of young athletes, so they should do just fine.
Do you still work with them, or go to practices?
I mean, I see them around and stuff like that, but I no longer train with them just due to I can't really. There's so many violations that can happen here and there, especially since I'm a professional and alumni. So there's so many, so many things that can happen. Last thing you need is somebody taking a picture of Old Verburg practicing with the team, and then you got the NCAA coming down here, especially with the new conference move. There's so many new eyes looking now, especially. So it was safer just to step back, and let them do their thing. We go my way and just do it that way. Because I would hate to be the reason why they couldn't compete somewhere because of some violation that happened. So
Tons of NCAA violations.
Exactly. There's so many.
Speaking about being a professional, how did you come about being signed by Adidas?
It was actually harder than I thought it was going to be. I thought, after nationals, bam, there is your professional athlete. Didn't quite work out that way. I signed to an agent, Stellar Athletics. They're based in London, so I got my agent. He got me into meets. And I could have signed before USA's, but it would have been for a lot less, basically, a lot less. So he was like, well, what do you want to do? Do you want to just sign now? Or do you want to wait and see what happens in USA's and throughout the summer? And I was like, I talked to my dad, talked to my coach, and I was like, I'll wait and see what happens. Because training had been going well. So we see like, let's see where it goes. And then I went 44.7, and then went 44 again overseas, like running. So Adidas was like, they had talked to me previously. I talked to some other companies as well, but they were like, we like him, like we do. He like him off the track as well. So let's sign him. So I think I have a 4-year deal with Adidas.
It's awesome. Congratulations.
Yeah. I appreciate it. So 4 years deal with Adidas. I'll be running with their stuff the next couple of years. I think I'm the number in the 400. I'm the number 2 runner right now. So looking good for looking for some good things in the future, hopefully. So we'll see.
And what are some of the off the track things you do for Adidas?
Off the track, when I go to events, I have to wear their clothes, wear their shoes, I have to tweet it, Instagram it, stuff like that. There are a couple I have to go to like the head stores sometimes and do like different events there. Basically, like, whatever I do, it has to be like Adidas. So I got like the Adidas shoes on right now. I got to wear the USA top, but yeah, just you're representing them like whenever you go out and stuff like that. So just plugging here and there and stuff like that. Nothing too major.
Mm-hmm. Cool.
That's awesome. Well, David, thanks again for joining us.
Thank you for having me.
Appreciate it. Thanks for gracing us with your presence.
Oh gosh.
Bringing the medal on too. The nice shiny medal. I want to thank you for all those in the audience that came out to support us. We appreciate it. And again, I'm Vandy Bernard.
I'm Perry Buckley.
DeMonte Shaw.
I'm Matt Newman.
And again, thank you for joining us right here inside the Press Box. And as always, George Mason University, press on.